Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Angela Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best, recent, cutting edge, most interesting, fun, and hopefully most useful brain body tools so you can take better control of your brain, of your emotions, of your thoughts, of your body, and most importantly, of your actions so you build the life that you absolutely love living. And I think only now that I'm 36, I'm starting getting a kick out of life, folks. It's like no matter what happens in my life, in my day, I'm loving it. And today on my morning walk, I was just thinking to myself, whether that stuff hard or easy or good or bad, quote unquote, because everything is an interpretation, whatever that is, it's the rent we have to pay for living, right? We come into this life and life works exactly as it's supposed to work. So whatever is coming to you in your life, that's exactly what's supposed to be there. So deal with that, transform it, enjoy it, lean into it, and realize what a privilege it is to be alive and be enjoying this experience. I don't know what it is these days, folks. I'm not taking anything. No drugs, no mushrooms, nothing. But I just feel high on life. Maybe for the first time in my life, I just am fully open and fully present. Don't know. But whatever it is, life is amazing. And again, whatever is happening in your day, that is the rent you need to pay for living. So embrace it. Also, that's exactly where you learn, where you'll get the best experiences. We're here and now. That being said, today I wanted to share with you some of the mindset tools that I use almost every single day to move myself forward closer and closer towards my goals, my aspirations, my visions. No matter, again, what life throws my way, whether I like it or not, whether it's a curveball or a bunch of luck, these are the tools I use to consistently move myself forward, again, closer and closer towards my dreams and visions, no matter how I feel about that or who says what to me and how I feel about that, etc., etc. When we learn how to master the self, how to master our minds, our internal conversations, how to use our own feelings and what's happening internally to our advantage, there is literally no limit to what we can achieve. Because let's agree, folks, that more often than not, we are the ones who are in our own ways, not letting the best in us shine, not letting us to live our best life. And of course, life is supposed to be hard. If you want great things, achieve and build awesome things, you have to be able to work hard. You need to push yourself. And if you're able to do that, again, there is nothing that you cannot achieve. And the secret sauce is when you learn how to enjoy the hard stuff just as much as you enjoy the easy stuff. To be honest, the easy stuff, what I realized, I actually get a lot more pleasure while overcoming hard stuff. The easy stuff is it's there and then it's gone. But the hard stuff, it really makes you feel alive. It's like the hardest workout. You really feel it. So, mindset tools. Number one, living the principle that I was able to put into words recently by reading the book Get Things Done by David Allen, one of the top experts on productivity. This concept of outcome action schedule. Basically, whenever I envision something, I say, I want this. This is the outcome. Then I ask myself, what are the actions that I need to take in order to build that? And then right away, schedule or put that on my calendar or create a plan whatever that is, to actually take that action, right? So outcome, what do you want? What are the actions I need to take? And then schedule. And obviously in the process of achieving that outcome, especially long-term outcome, you're going to tweak things, you're going to change things, you're going to adjust things as you go, but never. I promised myself at some point, and I realized that it was such an ineffective way of living my life, that whenever you say you want something, don't just say someday, one day. Either say yourself, well, I'm okay even if I don't ever get to do that. And if you do want to do that, then create an action plan and put it on your calendar. So outcome, action, schedule. Whatever, again, comes into my vision, into my mind, like I want this, then I always get to the next step. What is the action plan? And let's schedule it. The second tool, zero mental inbox. What do I mean by that? We all talk about in our culture about zero inbox for our email, but how about zero inbox for your brain that you have to live with every single day, every single moment of your breathing? Zero mental inbox. So you don't have the overwhelm. And also there is this ancient wisdom. If the cup is full, you cannot pour more into that. So when you feel overwhelmed already, guess what? Your learning, your ability to improve is going to be almost like at zero. So zero mental inbox. What does it mean in practice? In practice, it means whatever is in my mind, I put it out somewhere in my journal, in my planner, in my on my computer, whatever the thing makes sense to put into. Zero mental inbox. If I have an idea, I write it down. If I remind myself I need to reach out to this person, I put it on my calendar. If I remember I need to buy this, I put it on my small notebook that is specifically for those kind of errands, like buy shower gel, buy body lotion. That just recent that my shopping on Sunday. So zero mental inbox. And when you get to that, that's when you feel like, oh my God, I want to do things. I have so much to learn. I have so much capacity to improve. When you don't have that mental overwhelm, you have your zero mental inbox to zero, you'll feel amazing. Like you're unstoppable and you have so much potential. Again, it's like you feel when your head is overwhelmed and you cannot handle anymore. But basically what happens is your working memory, actually the one that helps you to make decisions, to think, to be creative, to create solutions, etc. That is a RAM of your mental computer, right? So that's temporal storage, where you store things to go through them. And once you go through them and address them, then they are eliminated, or some of that is put into long-term storage. But until you deal with that, it's actually going to be looping there, giving you the feeling of overwhelm, occupying your working memory that you need to use for this thinking, decision making, and learning, and not allowing you to actually do more, be more, improve. So zero mental inbox to zero. And I'm actually I need to take the next 2-3 weeks, on the weekends, I need to dedicate time to develop better system of organizing and storing my learnings from books, also things like my different systems for teaching people stuff. So my lessons, my systems for teaching, anything that I read, different memos, also all kinds of project materials that I accumulate as I deliver different projects, right? I still need to have a better system, and I already have the books and the tools, just need to take time, some time, because it will initially take time, but it's so worth it when you can find exactly what you're looking for, and all of the knowledge that you accumulate as you learn, as you read, etc., is in a good structured system that is also searchable and retrievable, most importantly, which you can then use for your future projects, your future accomplishments. No 0 days. That's the third mental tool that I use. No 0 days. What does it mean? Well, it means that throughout your day, definitely throughout your week and months, you're going to have countless of moments when you're going to need to choose. You're going to make a choice. And there are going to be two roads. One upwards towards your goals, ambitions, visions, and one downwards towards not your goals and ambitions, but actually might be away from them. And what no 0 days means to me is that when I'm at that fork, making that choice, I want to make even a slightest step, the smallest step towards my vision, towards harder goals, towards my goals. And when I'm not sure what that choice is, or if there are many choices, I simply ask myself, which option will move me towards my values, which are 5: freedom, showing up with purpose, of service, kind, empowering. So those are my values, right? How can I move towards my values? That actually the question I borrowed from Brett Stulberg, the author of the book Master of Change, highly recommended, How to Excel When Everything Around You is Changing. So how do I move towards my values? And no 0 days basically means no matter how tired I am, no matter how many things are on my plate, with every step I take, again, no matter how small, I'm still going to be moving tiny steps, tiny increments forward towards the ultimate vision of self and of my life. So no 0 days. That's something that I started this year fully and not seeing the reason why I should stop. And the life just keeps opening up. So no 0 days. That's another mental tool that I'm using every single day now. Tool number 4. That doesn't have any fun name. It's just the concept of don't living as an emotional creature, but instead, as I put it, don't be emotional. Don't get emotional. What I mean here is that by now we understand, as science tells us, that emotions are just our brain's summaries of what's happening outside of our body, inside of our body, based on our previous experience, on our past, our perhaps interpretations of the future, and our visions or expectations of the future. And the brain summarizes all of that and gives us emotions to, and also the brain takes into account things like energy balance and how well we are and how much potential we have to perhaps seize opportunities. And then the brain gives us emotion to either go or no go, basically. Like, no like. Motivation, no motivation. Feeling like it, not feeling like it. But also, of course, anger, sadness, and all these emotions. The brain uses these emotions to give us a feedback. Like, this is what's happening. And this is also, based on your past experience, might mean that you need to do that. And so the brain gives us feeling. But guess what? We didn't have to react to that feeling like we always did. We can take that feeling and ask ourselves, what does it actually mean? What am I going through? Where do I want to go? What does it mean? What future do I want to build? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to go from now? And this emotion, is it based on real information or on my past experience, on some stories that might not even be true? And even more important, folks, is it serving me? Like my first reaction, what I want to do right now, is it serving me? Or I should create a better story that serves me better, that moves me forward towards where I actually want to go. Do I continue living in the past on what my brain thinks is true? Or do I want to build a new future? Emotions are not truth. They are interpretations. They are stories. And guess what? Some stories serve you. Some stories don't serve you. And you can change them. So don't be emotional. That's one of my, again, tools that I've quite recently, maybe like a year ago, started to really dig deeper into. It's like you feel emotion, but is it really serving you? Is it really true? Or is it something from your past that you don't actually need, right? And then again, asking myself, if it's not serving me, what will serve me better? And then think about that, write about that, interpret, reframe stories, and act in a way that is more aligned with your future, not with your past. Tool number 5, conversations with future me. Like I talked to 70 or 80 no, actually I talked right now more to 50-year-old Angela. It seems like more, current version that still makes sense. I often joke with my friends. When I talk to my 50-year-old Angela, well, actually, she talks more to me than I talk to her. I always imagine myself, someone like Sarah Blakely, like completely comfortable in my skin, showing up exactly as I am. Courageous and not perfect, but bubbly and colorful at the same time, owning my shit, knowing my journey, successful in all areas on my own terms, and just expressing myself fully every day, successful again as I want to be successful. And so I talked to that Angela, 50-year-old Angela, and she talks back to me almost every single day. And I ask myself, and she tells me also, ask me a lot of questions like, what will it take for me today to move closer and closer to that version? Because, 50-year-old Angela is 14 years away, but it's not that far. And what I want that Angela to be, to feel like, to look like, to what I want this Angela to have lifestyle wise, like that 50-year-old Angela. And then that Angela also often talks to me back. It's like, okay, you're this business owner, you are a leader, you are passionate about helping people to be excellent sustainably and dig deeper into there and express more of their potential. And I have great business and I speak often and I work with a lot of people and I have my programs and I travel often, right? And I look a certain way and I feel a certain way every single day. Like, what will that Angela do right now? And I imagine that Angela is a friend of mine, as someone that I'm sitting down I'm on a couch or in their armchair, and she's sitting either by my side or across from me, and we're having this conversation. And very often, and it's kind of funny, she gives me the kind of advice that I know that is the right advice. And I'm like, well, the wisdom is there. I'm like, why? I wonder. I don't always have it available. But these conversations with my future self and asking myself, whenever I'm presented with a choice, are you choosing to invest in that, Angela? Or are you choosing to, I don't know, invest in your past or do some silly thing that, doesn't lead to the future that you want? So having these conversations with 50-year-old me helps me to make the choices that are aligned with who I truly aspire to be, my best self, and the future that I want to build. Next one, tool number 6, self-motivation. One of the most important tools, folks, or skills to motivate yourself to do the things that you gotta do to build the future and to live the life that you truly enjoy. Self-motivation, doing the thing that you don't want to do, doing the thing that you must do, that you actually at least some part of you wants to do, but sometimes, we all get lazy. So self-motivation, how do I do that? I simply ask myself, what do you actually want? Like Angela, yeah, you might feel tired, you might feel exhausted, you might not feel like it, it might feel dangerous and comfortable, or you might feel awkward and not qualified. But what do you actually want? What do you want? And what action does take you there? So do that, right? What do you actually want? Get off your ass and do exactly that. And then also things like dopamine boosting tools also help, like listening to music, to motivational talks. But, when it comes to motivational talks, folks, 5 minutes and you're done. Go get shit done. Because I see so many people just listening and watching this content and smart videos and motivational quotes and videos and audios. But what are you actually doing with your life? Like that stuff, 5 minutes a day, maybe, another one in the afternoon, another one in the evening, like 2-3 minutes, and you're done. Go get shit done in your own life. So sorry for swearing, but that's, there is a limit to consumption. And then most of the time you need to be in a creation mode. So self-motivation, music, listening to smart people, like for me, those are Tim Ferriss and anyone who he brings onto his podcast. Alex Hormozy, Simon Sinek, and his A Bit of Optimism podcast, and all of his guests are also amazing. Watching some of the content done by Sarah Blakely that, someone who I aspire to be like when I'm 50. So self-motivation, it's not that difficult, folks. Just ask yourself, what the F do I want? And do that, because this is what you want, not even, what somebody else tells you. What do you want from your life? The next one, I believe it's 7. Don't know what to do, like you have a goal, but you don't know how to get there. I like this question that I borrowed from Dan Sullivan, the co-founder of Strategic Coach, one of the biggest business coaching companies for entrepreneurs. Question: who, not how? Who can help me? So whenever you don't know what to do, guess what? You have people, people who probably went through that, who know better, or who might just give you a better idea how to get about getting unstuck. So don't sit in your own head. Who, not how. Ask a bunch of people. Guess what? You get a bunch of ideas that are outside of your head, that are not like in your head, and you have a much better chance of pushing through this stuck situation. So don't sit there and think through it. Ask people. Who, not how. And you probably have a lot of smart people to ask. By the way, on social media, you can reach out in a clear, nice way to most of the smartest people there, and they will actually reply when you have a good enough question. Next one, number 8, mental tool number 8. The 80-20 or the Ferris question, what I call it. Whenever I'm about to do something, like I'm planning my actions for reaching a specific goal, especially it's relevant for my business, kind of fitness and the rest of the stuff. I'm quite good at it, but, relationships also. But specifically right now, I'm hyper focused on building my business. And so whenever I don't exactly know what actions should I invest into, because there are like millions literally of actions you can take and tools, and there's no lack of options. In order to make a better choice, I ask myself the first question: what, if done, gonna make the rest easier or irrelevant? Like, what is the boulder that if you turn, like, what if the stone that if you turn, the rest of the stuff will just follow the suit, or will get much easier, or you won't even need to think about that. It's like, for example, I want to speak more. One of the reasons also, because when you appear in front of a lot more people, especially people who are in your sort of target audience, people who can give you business, people who you can work with, people who you can collaborate or partner with. So when you speak more, for example, in front of those people, you will get more opportunities. And so now I ask myself, okay, how can I speak more? So I get more opportunities without me having to spend a lot of money on marketing or advertising, but just being seen as a thought leader by many people, right? And so I invest more energy into that instead of just reaching out cold to 100 people. Now that will also work, and I do a combination, but I also realize that some actions, when done correctly and with a little bit of time, will produce a lot more result. So the 80-20 or the Ferris question, what if done, gonna make the rest either easier or irrelevant. Number 9, my confidence mental toolkit. It's in number 9. You kind of get a lot of small tips and tricks I use to increase my confidence, because when we show up as our confident selves, guess what, guys? We're gonna create a lot more impact. How you show up matters for your work, for your message, for your mission, matters just as much as what you deliver. Right? So how? And confidence makes you look and sound a lot more impactful, and people then are much more driven to actually act on what you propose or what you deliver. So my confidence toolkit. Number 1, make yourself familiar with any situation that makes you feel not confident and uncomfortable by exposure, by doing more of it. Yeah, first few times, you're going to feel awkward. But guess what? After a few times, you're going to feel more and more confident. And there is just no way getting around that. You just get to jump into that pool of action and take steps, however awkward you feel. And yes, you screw up. Yes, you're going to look awkward. Yes, you're going to look silly. And yes, you're not going to be your best, but you're going to get better. Small tip here that I got from a lot of people as well. Try to choose situations where the stakes are not as high. So when the stakes are high, you are a little bit better. So you get invited the next time. So there is some truth to that, right? If you screw up in front of a lot of people, it's going to be a little bit harder to get the next chance. So smaller stakes, but a lot of practice. Then also my own history of overcoming challenges. We all have a lot of things we overcame to get here. So when you feel like you are losing confidence, then remember, write it down. What things, hard things you overcame. You didn't think you could, and you still did. So dig deeper into your own history of accomplishments. Then read or listen to the folks you admire. Listen to the beginnings of their stories. Read their biographies. Read how Schwarzenegger started. Or Maria Sharapova, like some of the autobiographies that I read. Need to read more, actually. Or how Elon Musk started. Or how Tim Ferriss started. Or how Alex Hormozi started. Like, read and listen to those people, to the beginnings, to their humble beginnings, and realize that it took years to get to where they are today, and a lot of work. And they were not confident, but they just kept showing up. So read and listen to the beginnings of the stories of your heroes. Lean on your ability to learn and grow. You're a human being. You're one of us who has the ability to rapidly learn and adapt and improve. So realize that. And yes, you might not be as great at whatever it is you're not confident about or you want to do. But when you learn more, when you practice, when you work on it, you will get better. So realize that and get into work. Show up when you say you will for yourself. For your workouts, for your healthy meals, for your sleep time, for your morning walks, for of course, your work, whatever it is, show up when you say you will show up. Build trust and confidence with yourself. And then you'll have more confidence that you're going to show up for other people and you're going to do the work and you're going to deliver. Just keep showing up for yourself. Build trust and confidence with yourself before you can build trust and confidence with others. Build routines to build a sense of control. Routines, folks, they help you to feel in control, feel grounded, when a lot of things around you are changing. So don't underestimate that and create a routine, the simple one. Wake up, take a shower, get some movement, get breakfast, and do some meditation or journaling. That's going to be a routine. Have some routine, like maybe 5-minute routine before bed. Have those routines. They will give you the stability, the grounding that you need to then launch from that solid ground into the skies, pursuing your dreams. Routines, folks. That's how I was able to live in 15 countries, to change apartments and languages and like everything, and still move one step at a time towards my vision, closer and closer and closer, right? Routines. And then the last but not least, prepare. Like when you really prepare, when you do your best for that thing you need to show up for, that presentation, that talk, that conversation, that negotiation, whatever that is, that performance, just prepare your ass off. And that will give you confidence that you have what it takes to show up. Don't half-ass it. So that's my confidence toolkit, and re-listen this bit, because all of these tools are not just my tools. They are borrowed from experience of a lot more successful people, and they work. They are also based on research and or in different psychology related data. So use them, re-listen this piece, because confidence, again, how you show up, it makes a heck of a difference in what you actually get from every appearance. And the last but not least, the 10th tool number 10, dealing with procrastination. And the easiest tool to deal with procrastination, and by the way, I can tell you a small funny story that happened this morning. Now I'm looking at my legs, and one of them is shaved and the other is not. Like, funny, just very human story, folks. Forgive me for this. And I couldn't make myself to shave my legs. I like my legs to be shaved for, I think, like 3 weeks now. So I do sometimes procrastinate on the things that are not really essential to most of the things in my life. And today I just said to myself, I'm going to do what I tell all of my clients. I'm just going to do one small step towards my goal, my shaved legs. And I said to myself, I'm just going to do one leg today, or half of the leg. And I did that. So one of the legs is done. Tomorrow is the second one, because it kind of looks funny now and really makes me pay attention to my legs and feel kind of awkward. But anyhow, the best way to get over procrastination is take one small step forward. And by the way, it doesn't even have to be the step towards your goal. It just can be anything. Just take action, get off your ass and do things. So why does it work? Because when you take action, they call it behavioral activation. When you take action, your brain releases dopamine, and that is the molecule of motivation, of movement, of action, of pursuit, of drive. And when you have it in your brain, you're more likely to want to do a lot more things. What would happen to all of my clients is they start doing one thing, like answer one email, wash one plate, do a little bit of organizing, like folding a couple of pieces of clothing. And all of a sudden, they want to do more because they're not sitting and thinking about that, but they're actually doing it. So behavior activation, starting things one small step at a time, one of the best hacks and tools to deal with procrastination. And there is also this saying from physics, the object in motion stays in motion. And probably there is the second law, the anti-law, the project that stands still just keeps standing still, right? So when we sit and think without action, we don't have that dopamine. And we often think that, there is this huge thing that we need to do. And so your brain calculates the cost, the reward, and you're like, yeah, maybe we should save energy. But when you just commit to one tiny small action, whatever that action is, Andrew Huberman recommends doing something harder, something you don't want to do, because that releases more dopamine, and I tend to believe that it does. So do something small, might be non-related to the actual task that you procrastinate on. Do that, and you'll notice how you want to do more, and more. So that's behavioral activation, your dopamine in action. So the object in motion stays in motion. So whenever you want to procrastinate, just remember, it just takes one small thing to get started, and you're going to get going and keep going. But also, I then ask myself, Angela, like, for real, is the thing going to change tomorrow or the day after or the day after that? It's not going to get easier. It's probably going to get even harder with all the overthinking on top of that. So what's going to change? Nothing going to change. So you might as well get it done now, because you still will have to do it. And well, unless I guess you're secretly hoping that somebody else will do it for you, then there is a legitimate excuse to delay it. But life, folks, you're delaying your own life when you procrastinated on things that you know are important for you. So you're delaying your own life, your success, the results, the life that you absolutely love living. And once you realize that by procrastinating, you're delaying on your own freaking life, perhaps you'll feel the fire in your ass, and you get over it and start doing things. And don't forget, it just takes one tiny small step. Make it small, make it tiny, but get it done, and you'll feel the motivation, the dopamine to continue. And that's about it. 10 tools from Angela's mental toolbox that gonna make you unstoppable when you truly use all of them. Mindset management, emotional management, self-management, self-leadership. These are the major skills that will allow your genius, your talents, your potential to shine fully. Like mastering the self, it's the ultimate mastery that will allow you to achieve any goal that you have. There is, the sky is not the limit. There are footprints on the moon. That's one of my favorite quotes by Buzz Aldrin. By the way, whom I met at moon landing gala at Florida, US, Orlando NASA launch, station, whatever the name of it. But yes, the sky is not the limit. There are footprints on the moon. So use this toolkit based on research, based on data used by many successful people who build themselves from zero to hero. Use it if you have any questions, or if you want to work on a specific skill, specific issue, like maybe confidence, you want to work through that, because it's an issue for a lot of people, a lot of leaders, a lot of entrepreneurs who have the greatness within them, but just not able to tap into that because of lack of confidence. It's like a glass ceiling that they just cannot break through. There is a session complimentary for you. Sign up for that. Becoming Unstoppable. It's a high performance strategic session. So we're going to talk about what's stopping you and what are the best tools to put on your calendar, put into habits, put into practice, so you can move through that towards your highest potential and all the opportunities that you can seize to achieve all of your goals and aspirations. So use that link, schedule our session. Let's break through. Let's become unstoppable. And if you know a person who might love it, then share it with them. And don't forget, folks, to share this episode with as many people as possible, or at least with one other person via WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever is the most convenient way for you to share it. Let's all grow together to create the most amazing version of our lives and the world for all of us to enjoy. Have an awesome week. I'll talk to you very soon, and till then, be unstoppable.